All right, welcome back to Fleccas Talks the Podcast, episode 350. Today on the show, James Comey was indicted along with one of Fauci's henchmen. We're going to go over the details there. Then, Mamdani needs a $1 billion bailout for New York City, and we're going to tell you what the city wastes all of its money on. Then, the looksmaxers are taking it too far in Cringe of the Week. And last but not least, in Urban Decay, we have a repeat offender that racked up 275 charges in 3 months. We're going to tell you about it. All this and more is Fleccas Talks the Podcast, episode 350, ranked the best news podcast of all time.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words, but at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do. Very cool. Very cool.
Fleccas Talks the Podcast featuring Richard Grabboy.
All right, 1 for 1 on the intro, as always. Guys, you probably noticed that protein is king this year. Starbucks just launched a protein cold foam. There's protein oatmeal everywhere, and new protein drinks are constantly popping up. But the source of your protein makes a huge difference. 30 grams of pea protein will leave you bloated, gassy, and hormonally off. But 30 grams of high-quality animal protein keeps you full for hours, curbs sugar cravings, and gets absorbed way better. That's why Farmer Bill's Biltong Jerky is my go-to snack. He's perfected the craft of air-dried beef. Farmer Bill's is similar to jerky, but it's marinated in apple cider vinegar, sea salt, and spices, and then air-dried for 7 days. The result is a nutrient-dense steak you can just throw in your bag and take anywhere. Each piece is loaded with complete protein, healthy fats, and zero junk. There's no sugars, no seed oils, and nothing fake, and it comes in 4 great flavors. There's original, smokehouse, spicy chili, and garlic and herb. You can get it sliced or try their beef sticks. Farmer Bill's wife also makes 3 different tallow bombs that are fantastic for keeping your skin moisturized and youthful. If you've never tried it, see what you've been missing out on. Thousands of show watchers have switched to this as their go-to protein snack. Take advantage of 20% off of your first order with code Fleccas20 at checkout. Go to farmerbillsprovisions.com. Fleccas20 is the code. That's farmerbillsprovisions.com. It's also linked in the show notes. Make sure you guys stock up. Thank you to Farmer Bill for sponsoring. Let's get into housekeeping.
Farmer Bill's Provisions, the perfect protein snack.
All right, thank you to Farmer Bill for sponsoring.
Thank you, Farmer Bill.
Love Farmer Bill. How consistent is he?
Oh, he's a great guy.
He's a very good guy. We love Farmer Bill. How you doing, Richard? How was your week?
I'm good. Week was lovely.
Happy to be back in the chair?
Yeah, I'm thrilled.
We have a good show today, and a good amount of stuff happened in the news, too, so we're going to be covering it all.
Certainly.
But I want to start with the question of the week. It was something Mr. Beast posted, and I want you guys to answer honestly, and then we're going to tell you what the correct answer is.
Yeah, it was kind of going around, and Mr. Beast had the most popular poll, but he said, everyone on Earth takes a private vote by pressing a red or blue button. If more than 50% of people press the blue button, everyone survives. If less than 50% of people press the blue button, only the people who pressed the red button survive. Which button would you press? Be honest.
And, everyone's talking about this and making a case for either side. And then I think the results of that poll were over 50% of the blue button pressed.
Yes. So all the blue voters saved humanity in the fake hypothetical. You guys are the best.
And it really is like a really easy IQ question. But the NPCs think they need to press the blue button because they're good people and it's on them to save everybody.
It's a little bit of a virtue signal, and you start talking, what about the babies and children who don't understand the question and all this weird shit? It's like, guys, relax. It's a hypothetical, right?
What about the migrants who can't read?
You're tempting me with,
Yeah.
That's actually a point to wipe them,
Which half of the world dies?
Yeah.
But if you press the red button, you live and nothing happens. And then if you press the blue button, you might die depending on what everyone else does. So it's not even hard. And there's a few funny memes that go along with it.
Yeah. The blue people are like, quick, walk across our bodies. We'll save you. And then the red people are like, what are you talking about? Walking across a nicely founded bridge, right?
That's pretty good. And there's another one with the train car dilemma, and it's just the blue people standing on the tracks with the red people just watching.
Yep.
And then we have another one. Can you read that?
Yeah, the red button, nothing happens, you're safe. And then the ultimate death gamble, blue. It's like, do you want to live or do you want to maybe die? Imagine if someone came up to you and said that, right?
Yep. And then the last one, dude, get out of the crusher.
Yeah.
Y'all just want to kill us.
Yeah. And this is kind of like a question that almost would be on like an investment banking interview or something, is the way I saw it. But it is really just like, hey, you want to gamble with your life or would you like to be safe?
Yeah, and it's a peek into the mind of a progressive, I think, as well, because like you can be accountable for yourself, press red and nothing happens, or you can press blue because you think you're saving everyone, but you're just like maybe getting people killed.
Yeah.
It's like socialism too.
Yeah. And
Like, you can't be accountable for yourself. We need to do this as a group. And everyone might die.
Yeah. It's a crazy life or death gamble. And I just thought it was so funny. And then people get emotional, and they start saying, what about babies, children? What about this? Disabled people, dyslexic people who might not understand the question. And it's like, all right, man, it's fucking fake anyway. Relax.
We're going to need some bodies in the wreckage, brother.
Yeah. Yeah. But that was funny. And you know what? For all you guys who want to be blue, I know there's going to be some people in our audience who say, well, you got to do blue. You got 58%, so you're fine. The good people won, right? I'm hammering red, and I'm going, on with my life. No risk.
You hit red and nothing can happen.
Yeah.
Isn't that the most obvious answer?
Yeah.
All right, let's get into our next story, the one I mentioned in the intro. We have some indictments coming from the new DOJ. Can you read that first one?
Yeah, former FBI Director James Comey has been indicted a second time by Trump's DOJ, and I think it was done in, North Carolina?
North Carolina.
By a henchman, by an underling.
Yeah, good-looking henchman, too. Mm-hmm. He was henching.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know what's going to come of it. There was an arrest warrant. He's going to be arrested, but it sounds like he just did a deal with the judge with no restrictions, no bail, and he just walked out of the court in the same day with his lawyers, and there's no mugshot. So it's not like they do to Trump.
And this is for...
Remember they put Trump in the jail?
Of course. Yeah.
In his suit, they put him in the jail with Secret Service.
They do the mugshot. And it was specifically for the 8647 Instagram post, right?
Sounds like a threat.
Yeah, it sounds like a threat to me. And some people are saying, the left is obviously saying this is weaponization of the DOJ. People on the right are saying, no, it's not. And frankly, I don't care. I just want to hassle the guy.
Yeah.
I don't care. I just want him to be annoyed and have to deal with shit because he was fucking up a lot of people's lives, and now his life deserves to get fucked with a little. I don't care if it's weaponization. Because, again, for all these sort of things like gerrymandering, which we're going to get into later, like all these things that they're saying like, well, we can't set a precedent. There needs to be decorum. You guys blew through that in Trump's first term and like for years and years. So I really don't care. It's time for comeuppance. It's time for vengeance. And I guess the Department of Justice without Pam Bondi is getting active. Right?
Yeah, because no one's drinking at 1 PM now.
At the Breakers?
Yeah,
no one's what she was up to?
No one's doing mimosas
Palm Beach?
in the office anymore,
yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But exactly like you said, like the Republicans, some people will agree or not agree, and the ones who don't agree will say like, oh, we're setting a bad precedent. Guys, they're going to do this to us. They've already done this to us, and if we don't do it to them, they're going to still do it to us.
Yeah, they're planning on it in about, 28 months? Like as soon as they get some sort of power, I don't know how long it is, but yeah, they're coming.
So we got to keep that in mind. And then one of Fauci's henchmen got indicted as well.
Yeah, the Department of Justice indicted David Morins, a former senior advisor to Dr. Anthony Fauci, accusing him of concealing records during investigations into the origins of COVID-19. And I believe he had some bad emails showing up.
And the next asset, there's an email thread where he talks about how he can skirt the Freedom of Information Act with certain emails by deleting them a certain way. I think it's the next file, if you could just read that one. It was a tweet. And this is, I think, what the problem was.
Yeah, this is from him, and it says, "You are right. I need to be more careful. However, as I mentioned once before, I learned from our FOIA lady here, Freedom of Information Act lady here, how to make emails disappear after I am FOIA'd, but before the search starts. So I think we are all safe. Plus, I deleted most of those earlier emails after sending them to Gmail. D.
Send.
Signed, sent from my iPhone, David M. Morins." Yeah, so like these people, and Fauci, I read somewhere that the statute of limitations is coming up on Fauci's reign. So I don't know. I don't know if Fauci was stupid enough to have I talked to the FOIA lady about how to delete records. I'm sure he doesn't have that. But yeah, I mean, it's time for some of these people. They misled the public in the early days. And then not only misled the public, but it was a classic case of, I think I'm being honorable. I'm pressing the blue button by misleading the public, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of that energy.
And then Rand Paul talked about that statute of limitations as well.
I've said it from the beginning. Lying to Congress is a felony. Destroying federal records is a felony. Advising others to destroy federal records is a felony. Fauci did all three. His advisor was just indicted. Fauci is next. The deadline to prosecute Fauci is May 11th. The DOJ must act now.
So we'll see. And then there's one more tweet that kind of goes along with this that maybe could amplify the charges or get more people in trouble for other things. Can you read that leading report tweet, please?
Biden health officials allegedly knew that safety signals for COVID-19 vaccine injuries were being hidden by the VAERS analytic algorithm, according to new bombshell report from Senator Ron Johnson.
So there's a lot of sketchy stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like the indictment.
Cover-up. It's a classic cover-up, right?
It's a classic cover-up, and there's hopefully more to come, but we're on the clock with Fauci. It needs to happen in the next week.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's going to happen or not. He's also an old man with no power anymore, but the guy really terrorized us for a while there, huh?
Imagine him in jail in the outfit, like 5'4", old Italian guy walking around.
It's pretty dark, but there needs to be something. Like, what is to stop someone from doing this same type of thing again in the future, right? When you're like appointed the czar of COVID or the czar of something, when another emergency pops up, how do you make sure someone has good behavior?
Very true.
I don't know.
We'll find out. All right, we're going to get into our gerrymandering section, but before we do, we have a very special message from the Wellness Company. Guys, when credible doctors start paying attention to repurposed medications, it's worth asking why. Dr. Harvey Reich, former professor of epidemiology at Yale and now serving on the President's Cancer Panel, is helping lead that conversation. A new groundbreaking observational study from the Wellness Company analyzed the off-label use of ivermectin and mebendazole in nearly 200 cancer patients treated by licensed doctors across cancers like breast, prostate, lung, and colon. And the results are hard to ignore. After 6 months, 84% of patients experienced clinical health benefit, including stable disease, tumor regression, or no evidence of the disease at all. This is not lab data, this is real-world patient experience. Dr. Reich, chief epidemiologist at the Wellness Company, called it an exciting signal deserving serious scientific investigation and more accessible, lower-cost cancer care options. That's why the Wellness Company makes it easy to access an ivermectin and mebendazole formula, using medications that are FDA approved for other indications and are being studied for additional use. It's doctor prescribed and USA compounded and designed to support patients exploring these emerging approaches under medical guidance. Ordering is simple and fully digital. Just fill out a quick intake form, a licensed doctor reviews it, and your prescription gets sent to your door. Head to twc.health/Fleccas today and use code Fleccas at checkout for $60 off your order and free shipping. This is for USA residents only. That's twc.health/Fleccas for $60 off and free shipping. Thank you to the Wellness Company for sponsoring. Let's get back to housekeeping. All right. Thank you to the Wellness Company for sponsoring.
Thank you, the Wellness Company.
Love those guys. All right. Gerrymandering, another big story of the week. Do you want to explain it, or should we just play the Fox thing and talk about it after?
Let's play the Fox thing, but we won a Supreme Court case, and this will kind of explain it.
Good morning. Okay, so this at first blush here is a win for the plaintiffs who were not black plaintiffs. They were non-minority voters who challenged this decision. These two districts that were minority majority. Essentially, Louisiana had drawn up districts, and then they were told in a legal battle that they had not represented black and minority voters sufficiently. They went back and drew a second district. So they had two of these minority majority districts. Well, then non-black voters sued and said, this is now violating our rights on the basis of race. So it looks like this is a 6-3 decision. There is one concurrence here, but it looks like the dissent sticks together with Justices Kagan, Sotomayor, and Jackson. But here's what the majority says. They say in some, because the Voting Rights Act did not require Louisiana to create an additional majority-minority district, no compelling interest justified the state's use of race in creating SB 8. That was those two new districts. That map is an unconstitutional gerrymander, and its use would violate the plaintiff's constitutional rights. Now,
All right, that's good.
Yeah, so basically the way it works, if you see Louisiana at the bottom of the screen here, it has this district that spans from, I think, almost all the way from New Orleans to like Baton Rouge or whatever across the state, just a weird pocket of black people so that we can always have a Democrat in Louisiana because we drew the lines around where the black people in the state were, right?
And that was done in other southern states too, it looks like.
Yes, of course. And this is like an important ruling for that. And I'll read the Greg Price just to sum it back up again. In a 6-3 decision, the Supreme Court has ruled that Louisiana's creation of a majority black district that stretches across the state from Shreveport to Baton Rouge was an unconstitutional gerrymander. And here's the kind of key caveat. It did not strike down Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act entirely, but ruled that drawing districts on the sole basis of race is unconstitutional. Now, in the broader context of the recent gerrymandering discussions we've had, the Northeast has about 45% Republicans and not a single red congressional seat, right? We've shown that map a bunch of times now. And then, so they get that and they gerrymander or, pick and choose. It's basically gerrymandering. They fit the districts so that a majority is always blue, right? And the tool that they've had to stop the South from doing this is this race-based redistricting. So they do it up there and they're like, haha, we don't have any blacks, but you guys do and you have to do it, right? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of like the broad strokes theme. I'm simplifying it, obviously. But the Supreme Court came in and kind of said, no, you can't do that. And it's a big win, and they're all going to be redistricted, right?
Except Ketanji Brown Jackson. She goes, I don't see a problem with it.
I don't think so.
Which one does Trump want?
Yeah, exactly.
And then we have another tweet here that tells us kind of about the details about it.
Yeah, the impact of what this could mean. Today's ruling could help secure 27 more red seats in Congress, cement GOP House control for at least a generation, rewrite redistricting rules for state legislatures, city councils, and school boards. Without racial protections, maps could be redrawn with almost no limits. Aw, is someone going to get what happened in the Northeast done to them in the South now? Right? Like, that's my energy. And I noticed we don't have any assets in this, but Florida is moving forward with theirs.
Yep.
We already talked about it. So it's kind of some back-to-back banger wins. Mm-hmm. In Virginia, they're in a legal battle now, held up on their redistricting. So they're trying to take ground, and we're actually, the right wing is the one who's actually succeeding.
Yep. And then let's read this last tweet that's, I don't know if it's conspiratorial, but it's kind of like best case scenario if this plays out the way it's looking like it's going to play out. Can you just start it from, but here's the part everyone is missing?
But here's the part everyone is missing. Democrats don't have a House majority without those court-ordered maps. A dozen of their current seats sit in districts that only exist because federal courts force states to draw them. Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, every one has at least one Democrat seat in a court-created black majority district. Their House margin is 4 seats. SCOTUS just made 12 of their 213 seats legally redrawable. Republican-led legislatures don't need new voters. They need a redistricting committee and a Tuesday afternoon. If race-based districts are unconstitutional, then Louisiana redraws. If Louisiana redraws, then so does Alabama. If Alabama does, then every southern state does. If every southern state redraws, the Democrat House majority was a 60-year courtroom artifact, not an election result. That's what nobody's saying out loud. The 2026 midterms were just decided 6-3, 6 months before Election Day. So a little bit of a white pill here if we can get all this done. And, that's 12 districts and 12 swinging the other way. It's a 24 net seats. You know what I mean?
And it makes you wonder if this was like unconstitutional the whole time.
That's the implication,
You can't like retroactively cancel all the things that were done by these unconstitutional drawn up districts, right? Or like,
maybe. Yeah, you can't. I guess you can't put
not with Republicans. If it was Democrats, they would.
Yeah, they would. They would
go,
steamroll us.
All those elections are reversed. You're off the plaque. No, you never served. Didn't count.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping for the best. But
no, this is good.
This actually will play out in a good way.
Yeah.
This isn't just something that Republicans can fuck up now. Supreme Court, it's done.
Yeah. So
that's good.
This is a generally good news, and it took away. At what point did we think that unconstitutional, right? At one point was the Constitution written that we got to carve out some shit for black people, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Very
to think
crazy.
That.
All right, let's get to our next story. This is a little bit of a fraud segment. Some food stamp fraudsters were caught with supercars. We're going to read the tweet and then show you the clip.
Trump administration found 14,000 people receiving food stamps while driving luxury cars like Ferraris and Lamborghinis. And this was just in one red state that they got the data from.
Previously, no data was shared. We had no idea where the taxpayer dollars were spent. Just one red state, the recent dump of data. We found SNAP recipients had more than 2,000 Tesla owners, 200 Alfa Romeo owners, more than 144 that were receiving food stamps were driving Porsches. Again, this is the data dumps we're getting because before we had no accountability on any of these programs. We now are requiring accountability. The blue states are suing us. They don't want to share the data. And can you imagine, this was a red state where there is actually some taxpayer accountability. Imagine what's happening in the blue states if that's happening in the red state.
That's scary stuff. One red state, 14,000 people with supercars.
Yeah, 3 Bentleys, 3 Ferraris, 11 Lamborghinis, 59 Maseratis, 141 Porsches. You have a Porsche?
No.
Do I have a Porsche?
No.
Not that I can think of. I can't think of one that I have.
It's not a bad idea. Maybe get one though.
Yeah, so those
I'll
people
check Facebook Marketplace.
So that's why, I mean, we're making jokes, but this is so disrespectful. And this is why we've said before we need to do the old school computer reboot. Unplug it and plug it back in and see what rats are still left, right?
And see who's applying and actually is legit and then who doesn't show back up. And then let's go knock on their door.
Yeah.
And
they owe us money. They owe us money back. And the interesting thing is we said it's all federal money that is sent to the states individually and then administered by the states. So like Indiana has its own SNAP, Illinois has its own SNAP. And like she said, which we covered back when it happened, the blue states are suing so that like you can't criticize us at all. So it's just a legal battle going on that is so shitty. And imagine how many cars are in California, how many sick Porsches.
So many. Yeah. It's probably affecting the market.
That's so true. So you're competing against SNAP recipients and they're bidding on Porsches.
Like how the illegals come here and then they knock the housing prices up in the rental.
They're occupying houses.
It's like they're occupying the used car market. And then if that one state has 14,000 supercars, that affects the market. Yeah. That affects me.
I know. And then imagine the guy going like, all right, I can do 120,000, not a penny more. And it's like, can you do 125? And then you start doing the math and you're like, well, I don't need to pay for food for the next 6 months. You can see how they would inflate the market, right?
And then keep, like we said, one state.
Yeah.
Not the whole country. And keep in mind, this shows how much they're not hiding it. I'm sure in the beginning when these scams started, it was probably like, oh, lay low, keep some cash here, multiple accounts.
You're always parking it in the garage, right? You never want someone to see it, right?
Or you wouldn't even get a Ferrari. You'd be like, oh, let's just get a Tahoe, but the LTZ, not the LS.
Yeah, well, it's going to look like okay, but under the hood, I swapped in a V12, like new exhaust. Yeah,
they don't even hide it. And it's to the point now where they're on food stamps and driving around a Ferrari. And like we've said, that's where all the money went.
Yeah.
That's over the years, this all adds up to trillions of dollars.
And then think about someone who has a sick car and is getting food stamps. You think they're running any other scam?
Yeah.
You think there might be a second scam if you look deeper instead of just checking what vehicle that is registered under their name at the state DMV, which I'm assuming is what they kind of cross-reference this with. So, yeah, scams on scams on scams. That's America in this day and age.
So bad. Yeah. And then we have another update from Minnesota. The fraud there is actually worse than we thought.
When I was showing a text conversation between the owner of the center and a friend. The friend had asked the owner, how much longer are you going to do the daycare scam? The owner replied, another year or two. I'm going to buy some nice homes in Nairobi. The owner was on public assistance at this time. They happened to be on vacation in Dubai when this text conversation took place.
I mean, the audacity of all of this.
The scammers are in Dubai.
Scammers are in Dubai taking U.S. taxpayer money, and then where does, like we said, at least that WWE lady who scammed something and was a WWE superfan spent it. They're going to go spend this money in Kenya. They're going to go spend the U.S. taxpayer money in Kenya. And we already send money to Kenya. Remember?
So bad. And they're set up generational wealth.
Yeah.
Acquired.
Just 1 or 2 more years, then I'll retire to Nairobi. Like, that's how they think it. And then that's how brazen they are, right? Putting it in a text message, I'll put it in an email.
So bad.
Because nobody's looking, right?
How much longer are you going to do the scam for? Few more years.
What are you, a fucking Fed? Don't text me again. Like, that's what a normal person would say. Few more years, I'm getting something in Nairobi, right?
Yeah, DM me on Signal or
Yeah.
whatever the way you sneak it is.
Exactly.
All right, our next story is about Mamdani. They need a $1 billion bailout.
New York City faces a budget crisis of a historic magnitude. We inherited a deficit larger than any since the Great Recession. Years of mismanagement and chronic underbudgeting, alongside a structural imbalance between what New York City sends to the state and what we receive in return, have taken a toll. We cannot close this deficit with savings alone. We need new revenue, and we need a structural reset in our relationship with the state. That is the only way to meet our legal obligation to pass a balanced budget, and to do so without imposing a financial burden onto the backs of working people.
So there you go. They need an extra billy, it sounds like. And keep in mind, the city obviously spends money in the most wasteful way. We've covered it before. They spent during Joe Biden's term $4.5 billion on illegals in just 1 year.
Yep.
Maybe they need to tax Ken Griffin. That's the problem.
Yeah, that billionaires. He's not
Where
paying
is
his fair
he?
share. And then, I mean, we just recently covered, what was it? Almost $80,000 or upwards beyond $80,000 per homeless person that they're spending, right?
Mm-hmm. And then we have a tweet that breaks down the full situation.
The New York City budget gap is estimated by comptroller Mark Levin at $12.6 billion, $2.2 billion in fiscal year 26 plus $10.4 billion in 27. That's billion with a B. The city will spend about $2.7 billion on illegals, $1.5 billion in 26 and $1.2 billion projected for 2027. More than half of the city's budget deficit for 2026 could be erased by eliminating handouts to illegals. New York City spending on rental assistance is projected to reach approximately $1.8 billion in fiscal year 26 and $2.3 in 27. There's going to be free childcare to pay for too. If you're a taxpaying resident of NYC, run for the hills. The super rich will flee the city, blah, blah, blah.
Yep, and then we've talked about this a few weeks back, but the city also spends $81,000 per homeless person per year. Mm-hmm. So there's a few $1 billion right there.
Yeah. It's really simple to balance the budget. There's this meme about like a guy who's like, can anyone help me balance this budget? And it's like food, $500, a house, $1,000, candles, $3,800. And, you know, illegal immigrants are the candles in New York City. You just keep spending on illegals and homeless. Mm-hmm. No ROI on it either.
It gets worse.
Yeah.
Because then more come,
Yeah.
and then they don't do anything, and then more come, and they don't do anything. And then you go, whoa, we have to take care of all these people. What do we do?
Yeah, you want to go over this chart?
Yeah, we have a chart here. New York is...
it's homeless spending by a couple cities from Charles Smerkley, data guy. I like Smerkley.
It's a nice smirkly.
Yeah. And it's LA, Portland, San Fran, New York, and they all have gone up since 2019. I kind of thought like, I guess that coincides with the Biden era, but yeah. Everything's still trending up. We're still spending a lot of money.
And that could basically just be a fraud graph too.
Yeah, exactly.
Because last year I got an iPad. This year I got a sleeping bag.
Exactly.
There's nothing. Mm-hmm. They don't get anything. They're just like on the street doing crazy stuff, and everyone just takes the money.
Yep.
And then New York also just redid their steps at the state capitol for $72 million.
Yeah, New York State Senator Rob Ort just revealed that Democrats in New York spent about $72 million repairing stairs at the Capitol. They spent around $1 million per stair.
So congrats to the contractors and everyone who got a kickback for that.
Yeah, that was a pretty sweet deal.
That's sweet.
And so are you going to say any broad points for this stuff? Just because we've been talking about fraud and then spending budgets, like all that stuff, city budgets, government budgets, they go hand in hand with fraud, right? And I'm almost realizing now that we basically need to increase the size of our government just to watch what our government is doing. Like we have no watchdogs. We have no people like vetting or going to these empty autism centers, empty places. Like we need a new branch of the government that's just overseeing who's wasting on what. Like this $72 million, $1 million per stair, like there's got to be a thing where there's some sort of max to this, right? Like I was telling Fleccas before, like how much are the materials for a project like this? And then, okay, the max you can charge the government is materials times 2.5 because you can't just run up the costs because you got a victim here, the city, who needs something done, right? So, but yeah, we almost need like an entire division Or maybe it's a bounty system where you find the fraud and you claw it back and nobody's an employee, but you turn the entire America into finding fraud for bounties and scalps, right?
Yeah, and that's what they try to do with Doge, but then by the end of it, Elon said like, oh, the government's so fucked up that like you don't even understand. Like it's pretty much unfixable.
Well, Doge, and honestly, I think Elon rage quit Doge because we were passing the one big beautiful bill at that same time. So he's doing all this Doge cuts, and then we're passing a bill that has an increase in spending. And yeah, it's for more right-wing stuff, but we're still spending more. And he's like, why did I just spend 3 months grinding with a bunch of autists on cutting waste when you're just going to spend that money later? Because to him, it was a game about the deficit, right? And so if you're just going to increase the deficit, then what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah, I can use these autists for something else.
I'm going to get in a fight with Scott Bessent and go take my autists to an AI company, right? Which is pretty normal, right?
Yeah, of course.
I'm sure Elon's not the first guy to rage quit the government. A lot of congressmen, a lot of people like that, they go, I can't do shit, and they leave.
And that's literally the sentiment from everyone we talk to who's a real fighter is like, oh, it's so fucked up. You don't even get it. I'm out. And then when that happens, who's still in? People who want to play the game and do the swamp stuff.
Yeah.
And then it actually gets like worse faster because anyone who tries to do something, it's not worth ruining your life.
Yep, absolutely.
You can't actually stop it. It sucks. Our next story is about out of control education spending. We have a graph here.
Public K through 12 spending just topped $1 trillion. Average cost per public school student is now higher than typical private school tuition. Meanwhile, students are falling behind and can't read or write proficiently. And if you zoom in on this chart, it's a lot of the same offenders at the top spending per pupil. Washington, D.C., New York, Vermont, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Connecticut. You know those types, right?
Yep. So they spend a ton. And as you guys know, math, reading, writing, all the proficiencies have gone down.
Yeah.
It's nothing compared to the old school curriculum from the boomer generation.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Boomers really crushed it, you know? The classics. Like, remember people used to learn Latin? Yeah. That's gone.
Cursive. People can't even read regular. And we actually have a clip. This is from a Philadelphia high school. A guy gives these people kind of a tricky sentence, but no one can read.
Read the index card for me.
She wore a suit, clothes that were... Who's this for? Extraordinary, but somewhat Gertrude?
Now explain what that means.
I don't know.
She wore a sahalat of clothes that were extraordinary, whatever, bro, but somewhat gooch.
They're skipping extraordinary as if that's one of the slip-up words.
And you said it. You still don't know what it is?
Yeah, yeah.
And the sentence is a little tricky because you can't wear a silhouette of clothes.
Yeah, they don't sell that at the Nike store.
Yeah. But that is not the point. The point is obviously the kids can't read and then decide, oh, this sentence doesn't quite grammatically work.
Yeah, yeah. They're checking you.
Yeah.
They're telling you, hey, this sentence actually doesn't work.
You don't wear a silhouette.
I don't have to pronounce any of the words.
But we do have a breakdown of performance based on race, and then American Asians and American whites are still at the top globally.
Yeah, yeah. You guys know. A lot of this stuff, as we've said, is changing demographics.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
It
right?
really is as simple as that. And then we're going to go back to New York City. This was a little scene in a middle school, I believe, or maybe even an elementary school in Brooklyn. They're doing all Muslim shit.
Yep.
So that's allowed, all the kids doing Muslim stuff. It's only a matter of time. Very unfortunate. And then this was a scene from Los Angeles city council meeting or a school board meeting, I believe. Yeah. And this Democrat woman who is the daughter of H-1Bs, so she's basically an anchor baby.
Yeah.
She's talking about how she doesn't mind if homeless people tents are in front of the school.
I mean, it's like, I don't think a kid's going to be safer because a tent is 500 feet away from a school. You know, it's like, it just doesn't.
And then she rolls her eyes at the end.
She gets horribly booed. She's dismissive about homeless people, which, remember, a tent, there's a bunch of words like a tent, right? And you go, oh, a tent, that's an inanimate object. And then who's in the tent? A homeless person. And then there's like 2 layers of words to cover for a drug addict who steals precious metals to fund his fentanyl addiction, right? We're not talking about a campout guy near the school who's like, oh, I'll help you with gym class. We're talking about drug addicts, violent people who are, basically retarded. And she rolls her eyes at the parents,
And everyone boos and she rolls her eyes like what? She knows better than everyone. And it's like, oh, you guys are just discriminating against homeless people. I'll be the judge of what's right and what's wrong. Now there's a homeless drug addict in front of the school.
Yeah, that's pretty much the platform of the Democratic Party, right?
She knows best.
She knows best, and the situation will not improve. And then soon enough, everyone who's of age will not even remember the time when there weren't homeless tents, right?
That's so true. All right, we're now in our migrant section. I want to start off with this clip of Nancy Mace. Someone asked her about Ilhan Omar and if she's going to be prosecuted, and listen to what she said.
Congresswoman, where do we stand on the investigation into Ilhan Omar? Obviously, there's some, questions regarding her citizenship. She's been referred to the Ethics Committee. Can we trust the Ethics Committee to actually be ethical and do the right thing?
Well, what's happened so far? Like, really, I think the remark is always let the process play out. Right? That's what they always say, and nothing never happens. I tried to subpoena her immigration records, her husband's immigration records, and it was Republicans that killed my motion.
So there you go. And that's the same thing we just talked about a few minutes ago. The Democrats are unified. They'll arrest Trump for crimes they made up. But Republicans are split on Democrat crimes that actually happened.
Yeah.
And then when you have that dynamic, which side wins and loses doesn't matter what's right or wrong, but which side wins or loses. The Democrats win.
It's a fight. One side has one arm tied behind their back. The other side has 2 arms working together.
And brass knuckles and little
and
pieces,
a gun in their pocket.
Pieces of glass on the gloves.
And an illegal immigrant who's ready to step in with them.
And a grenade, and they blow it. This woman in this next clip is running for Congress, and she was asked about ICE, and she kind of froze up.
You also said you're running to abolish ICE. This is something that we've heard other Democrats and activists talk about.
Yeah.
From an immigration enforcement perspective,
Yes.
who do you think should be in charge of enforcing immigration laws?
It's a good question. And you can pause because I just want to think about it for a minute. Go ahead.
We need to continue, though.
Okay. Who do I think should be in charge of enforcing immigration laws? Not the executive branch, so not the president.
So there you go.
Yeah.
And then the 6th grade civic learner in me.
Yeah.
I believe Congress makes the laws and the executive enforces them.
Yeah.
And then there's already laws on the books for illegal immigration that are just basically being ignored.
Yeah.
Or like at the state level being kind of obfuscated and pretending it doesn't exist.
Exactly. You're right. And your 6th grade education is kicking in. And that was before the spending was that high. But then, it's so funny because obviously this is the type of person who would be yelling, abolish ICE, get rid of ICE out of our cities. Who should replace them? Haven't thought about that. Never once thought about that.
Pause.
Anarchy in the streets. And Tren de Aragua, they can have that apartment building.
I'm sure you think more illegals are going to come if this policy is put into place.
She does double hands up.
Fuck Trump.
Yeah.
And that's like the perfect candidate for the Democrats. Like, vote for this black woman because fuck Trump. And then she gets into power, doesn't know about the Constitution, doesn't know what's right and wrong, passes laws that infringe on your freedoms.
Yeah.
Impeach Trump, make the kids trans. Like, she'll do anything because she doesn't know anything.
Yeah, and it's like a worse version of Ketanji Brown Jackson, who is always being political and like kind of knows some stuff enough to at least write an opinion or something, but she really doesn't know anything.
Scary stuff.
Yeah.
All right, our next.
Well, the good news is after the ungerrymandering of all those black racial districts, we're gonna get some white men. We're gonna get some old white men in Louisiana.
I hope so.
Yeah.
All right, our next clip, this woman tells us about how illegals are debt maxing. They're basically running up credit cards and then fleeing the country.
I walked away from my debt. I left my car parked in front of the bank that financed it, and I didn't pay my rent for 2 months. Before I got evicted, I moved out. So what were the consequences to my actions? If you're new here, my name is Lorena. I left the United States 2 years ago and moved to Colombia. I kind of played the system. And a lot of you guys are asking me or wondering, did you get punished for that? And the simple answer is, not really. It's fear-mongering. I'm only here to tell you what happened to me and what my experience was. So let's start with the credit card debt.
We don't need to go into it. She ran up a credit card bill. She didn't pay her rent for 2 months. She defaulted on her car and dropped it off at the bank. This is a typical person who is nuking their ties to the U.S. And the only threat is, well, you nuke your credit, right?
And the credit card bill she ran up was $2,000.
Okay.
So I was going to say, this is almost not a bad deal. Like, you run up a $2,000 credit card and then you're like, I'm getting out of here. I'm going back to Mexico. That's, 10 times cheaper than it costs to deport them through our system.
That's true.
And we'll pay the bank back. Mm-hmm. Oh, you scammed us, $2,000. Oh, you better not.
You better not step foot in this country again, you bitch. It's a cheap price. Yeah, you're right.
It's like a cheap price, but obviously it's not good and it's not funny.
Yeah, and that's why the interest rates are higher. It gets spread amongst us. It's the same thing as shoplifting. The more shoplifters there are, the more they have to charge for the actual items because of slippage is like calculated in the profit equation. So yeah, it's just another scumbag thing. And we've seen this for people on H-1Bs a lot. They run it up before they don't get their permanent citizenship and are going back to India. This is a pretty common theme.
And it's the same thing we see in healthcare too. A lot of the illegals go to the ER, they get treatment. I'm illegal, they don't get charged. Everyone else gets charged. Now medical costs more money. Now your insurance goes up and like all the Americans have to pay for it. It's the same exact thing.
Yeah.
One group who shouldn't be here is basically getting stuff for free, and then everyone else has to pay a little bit more, and then after years and years, it's a lot more.
Just more low trust behavior, right?
Very true. And obviously the Democrats, they'll tell us that diversity is so good, diversity is so important, the world,
it's our strength.
It's a strength, we need it so bad. But a new stat came out about America's most diverse city, Miami, and it's not a good one.
Miami, America's most diverse city, has the lowest rate of helping neighbors among the dozen most populous cities in the U.S. States with the highest rate of formal helping, Utah, Wyoming, Minnesota, and Maine, are among the least diverse in the U.S.
So there you go.
Yeah.
It's not the utopia everyone thinks it is. Mm-hmm. And we've shown this quote before. This is from the New York Times from 2007. And it talks
before wrongthink was kind of pushed away, right?
Exactly. When they probably had like op-eds of people that had other opinions that were actually allowed to go get published in the newspaper. Mm-hmm. And it talks about the downside of the diversity. Can you just read the red underline part?
Yeah, Harvard political scientist Robert Putnam, famous for Bowling Alone, his 2000 book on declining civic engagement, has found that the greater the diversity in a community, the fewer people vote and the less they volunteer. The less they give to charity and work on community projects. In the most diverse communities, neighbors trust one another about half as much as they do in the most homogenous settings. The study, the largest ever on civic engagement in America, found that virtually all measures of civic health are lower in more diverse settings. And that was nearly 30,000 people across America in that study.
And that was from 2007. And then since then, we brought in like 75 million illegals or something.
Yeah. Is everyone feeling higher trust and more engaged? And is everyone's civic sense at an all-time high? No. It feels like you're getting scammed. It feels like you're getting ripped off. And it's worse than ever. So diversity is our downfall, pretty much.
Yeah. Do you guys feel more trusting and in a high-trust society, or do you get nostalgic when you see videos from the mall in the 1995 that make you almost cry?
That one. That one. I get that one.
Yeah. And then Canada has some diversity too, and it's affecting pretty much every aspect of their lives, especially their military. This next story is pretty insane.
Yeah, CAF training platoon with 83% non-citizens devolved into ethnic infighting. An explosive internal CAF report reveals a Quebec officer platoon dominated by non-citizens descended into ethnic infighting, a lack of respect for women peers, and abysmal graduation rates. I'm going to read a little bit from the article. One French language platoon, which had over 80% non-citizens, was reportedly racked by an inability to communicate fluently, a lack of respect towards female CAF members, and infighting between Cameroonian and Côte d'Ivoire candidates. So they all hate women, and they can't talk to each other. And then there's some African, Western African, third world leftover resentment from some war, bloody war, where probably one side got massacred. I actually don't know much about the Cameroonian and Côte d'Ivoire history.
That's so funny that they just have like a beef probably from like hundreds of years from Africa where like they just hate each other.
And it all gets settled in Quebec in a French-speaking military unit.
In a military where everyone's in the military outfits with guns.
Yeah, great.
Sketchy.
So that's the kind of diversity is hurting us section, which we obviously all know, but it's nice to kind of get some studies and some anecdotal examples. Remember, guys, anecdotal is always first.
Exactly. And we have another example from Canada. And you might think like, oh, these examples, they're just, low-level people that aren't actually productive members of society. It's probably really normal elsewhere.
Yeah.
This next story is about an Indian realtor in Canada.
Indian realtor tells Canadian judge he abducted 9-year-old boy because it's acceptable in his culture, begs not to be deported. An Indian real estate agent in Ontario claimed to a judge that it was a cultural misunderstanding when he lured a boy into his vehicle and abducted him. He is now facing deportation from the country, and he was given an 18-month sentence from that after back in 2023.
So being a pedophile and abducting a 9-year-old is normal where he comes from, and then Canada imported millions of people from that same place.
Wow.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Wonder what happens next.
Is that going to make our country better?
Yeah. We have another example of some diversity here. This is from India as well, and this is someone who maybe needs to come to the West. You can see this guy walking with a body. We had to blur the body, but this guy is walking to the bank to show the bank his dead sister as a proof that she's dead so he can get the money out of her account. He could have just brought a death certificate.
I don't know if they have those in India, I guess, if you're digging up the grave.
So he's digging up the grave instead.
And then that's a man who, what's in the account? $2,800? Is that worth digging up your dead sister and dragging her body to the place?
Probably less than
That's the
$2,800.
thought process behind, I know, and he needs it that much, right? So desperate shit.
And this is who has the tech skills that you don't have.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, and our last clip from our migrant section, this rapper jumps into the crowd in Africa trying to do a stage dive, and then they kind of piranha him.
Oh, yeah. Zombie movie.
And he's wearing a chain. So his chain gets snatched, his hair gets pulled and ripped, and his pockets get emptied.
Yeah.
Absolute piranha situation here.
Yep. And these guys are probably coming on a boat to Spain or something pretty soon. So watch out, guys.
And the guy thought he was having fun. The crowd loves me. I'm going to jump in.
They don't know about crowd surfing. It's sub-Saharan Africa. They know about gold, though.
That is not the place to do it.
Yep.
Well, that is the end of our migrant section. We're now moving on to the final page of housekeeping where I can say whatever I want. Use the opportunity to go to the post, help us juice the algo, leave a like, comment against our yapping. P.O. Box needs to be full, notifications need to be on, old episodes need to be watched, and the link to this episode needs to be sent to the boys in the group chat. All right, so the first piece of the final page, this was sent on Twitter to me, and it's a picture of what it looks like when I become the Eggman.
Yeah, after you hoard the eggs and did you clean up that spare bedroom?
It's ready to go.
Okay, so you haven't acquired the eggs yet, but
I need to buy pallets. I'm buying pallets first.
I don't think eggs get stacked in pallets. But
I'm going to stack them on the pallets, and I'll sell the pallets.
Okay, all right, you're the Eggman.
This is what it's like.
Who am I talking to? The Eggman. You know better than me.
Yeah, exactly. All right, our next piece, a little segment here, I think is very important, and I want you guys to take this information and apply it in your real life. We need to be optimizing the lighting in our homes. Mm-hmm. So this next clip is the same home side by side with nice ambient lighting versus like nuking overhead LEDs, and you'll see a huge difference. Hospital. Nice. Hospital. Ooh, cozy. Hospital.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice. Kitchen. Hospital.
Yep. So warm lighting, what are those incandescent light bulbs usually? For the most part?
You want lights that don't have that bright white color, and it makes a huge difference.
When you know me, I think incandescent light bulb maxing. I have several lamps. I'm really never using the overhead lights at my apartment. I'm always running lamps.
That's good.
So you know me, I'm already taking this
lamps,
advice.
candles, and the light is so much better for you when it comes to the spectrum that's within that light and your circadian rhythm and what your brain analyzes. Because when you get nuked with the LED overhead lights, your brain thinks it's like peak noon and the sun's out. So if you're in like nuked overhead lights and it's 12 o'clock at night, your brain thinks it's middle of the day, peak sun, and then how do you go to bed?
Yeah.
And this next clip...
We're getting nuked right now, though. You and me always get nuked whenever we film the show.
And that's the sacrifice we make.
Thank you.
350 episodes going to affect us. This next guy kind of explains the difference between the lights.
The ROI of swapping out LED bulbs is insane. $25 to eliminate a daily source of circadian rhythm destroying blue light. The problem with these LED lights is that they have a ton of blue light, as you can see here, and no red light, which is a very stressful signal to the body. You don't want to be doing that to yourself, especially late at night. This makes no sense. The solution is really simple. These blue...
So there you go. The solution is just non-LEDs and the nice yellow, red, warm lights.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, even if you're not going to fully buy in on the circadian rhythm or thinking it's tricking your body or something like that, it's just nicer anyway. It just looks nicer and feels nicer.
We offered you every option.
Yeah, it's so good, right?
And same with your phone. Your phone does that same blue, intense light. And then if you like are this close to your face right before bed and you have trouble sleeping or falling asleep, that kind of makes sense. So I always turn my phone on to the night mode all times.
Yeah, for Apple now has good options for that at least.
Yeah.
So.
All right, this next story is my favorite piece of the final page of Housekeeping. Birds are really good for you.
Your brain has a circuit that doesn't know you live in a city. Its only job is to monitor whether birds are still singing. Right now in this room, it is on. The circuit predates primates. Mammals have been using ambient soundscape continuity as a predator detection system for roughly 200 million years. Birds stop singing when something larger moves through their territory. For most of mammalian history, a forest full of song meant no large predator was nearby, and the cessation of sound was the warning. Your nervous system never updated this software. The Max Planck Institute tested the inverse in 2022 with 295 participants. 6 minutes of bird song dropped anxiety with a medium effect size. 6 minutes of traffic noise raised depression with the same. The effect worked on subjects who lived in dense urban environments and had no regular contact with nature. The brain still ran the check. Birdsong sits in the 1,000 to 8,000 hertz range. Your brainstem reads continuous patterns in that band as a signal that nothing dangerous is currently moving through the environment. EEG data shows birdsong at 45 to 50 decibels boosts alpha wave activity by 14% relative to silence. Alpha is the brainwave signature of relaxed alertness. Push the same birdsong above 60 decibels and the response flips. Stress markers rise 29%. The circuit only trusts the signal at the volume of quiet conversation, which is exactly the volume birds sing at from a typical distance. 3 things happen simultaneously when the brain registers ambient safety. The amygdala downregulates, the parasympathetic nervous system takes over from the sympathetic, heart rate variability rises, cortisol drops, the posterior cingulate cortex, which sits at the center of the rumination circuit, quiets down. King's College London tracked this through a smartphone study with over 1,200 participants and found the mood lift lasted hours after the sound stopped. People diagnosed with depression got the same response as healthy controls. Most of what gets labeled mental fatigue is hypervigilance running in the background. Birdsong tells the circuit it can stand down, and the brain reallocates the freed compute everywhere else.
Isn't that interesting?
Birds are good. You need to be around birds, and you need to be hearing their songs.
Yeah. And it's like your ability to analyze stress, you can basically outsource to an animal that gets stressed more easily than you do.
And sees more, and there's more of them, right?
And it's higher and it sees stuff. So if that easily stressed animal is not stressed and singing, it kind of does your analysis for you, and then you don't have to be stressed.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's maybe why Tony Soprano liked feeding the birds so much.
Yeah, he was feeding the ducks, and I think they were migratory, so it's close. And I'm actually, everything in this final page I'm up to. I'm bird maxing. You were over at my place? You saw the birds and how I'm feeding them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to his house for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, before a baseball game.
And like 5 different birds came by, and he goes, well, you met everybody.
2 blue jays, 2 pigeons, and then 1 little guy who I don't know what he is. And I go, you saw them all. You saw them all.
And I think classical music can also count as birds too.
That's fair.
There's something about that maybe hits the same amygdala.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But isn't that interesting? You never hear a bird sound in New York City, and then your brain thinks, oh, there's no birds. There's predators nearby. And then you're automatically in fight or flight, whether you want to be or not. maybe it's not that bad.
That's a stretch to say fight or flight, but like I think there's something deeper and relaxing.
There's like a subtle thing about it, but also if you play bird sounds, it probably helps automatically. So we need to improve our lights. We need to be playing bird sounds, or being near birds actually would be real birds. Playing bird sounds. Maybe go outside.
Yeah.
All right, our next story is very interesting too. This guy tweeted about how his wife's OBGYN prescribed his wife SSRIs during pregnancy.
OBGYN just told my wife to go on SSRIs during pregnancy. I asked if there's studies she can show to make us comfortable. She said she doesn't sit around reading medical literature, but 70% of her patients are on them while pregnant. We have a health crisis in America.
It's like the worst sentence ever. Like, I don't have time to figure out if it's true or not. All my patients are on it.
I know.
Whoa!
I know.
And SSRIs are obviously really bad for you. You guys know that, especially if you're pregnant. It depletes your B12, which is like what keeps your brain sane. Completely depletes that. You'll bleed a lot more than you usually would during birth if you're on SSRIs. And allegedly, the risk of autism is way higher. There's a study here that was done on rodents that maybe you can
extrapolate.
Prenatal
SSRI exposure increases the risk of autism in rodents via aggravated oxidative stress and neurochemical changes in the brain. That's the title.
And then there's a tweet that goes along with that. This is just someone randomly in the replies, but these anecdotal types of stories are actually the ones that make the most sense to me.
Yeah, this person said, I was on SSRI for years when I got pregnant with my second baby. I asked my OB if I should stop. She said there is not enough study to support bad effect of SSRI for babies in wombs. She said it's, quote, safe enough and would be a better choice for me to stay on it than dealing with more changes during pregnancy. Fast forward, now I have a 3-year-old daughter who is severely autistic. Don't take it.
There you go.
Anecdotal,
but rings true.
Yeah.
And then getting off of SSRIs is really, really tough. The doctors try to wean you off. I think it's like by decreasing your
dosage,
your dosage by 10% every week or 2 weeks, then you eventually get off. But if you
That's a commitment, dude. When you get on this shit, it's like, dude, can I exercise a little more? Can I get outside? Can I get around birds and change my light bulbs before I get on this thing? I have to wean myself off 10% for life.
So true. You see how it all ties in too?
And there's also a thing where like women, or because women are like the main SSRI users, obviously more, they like talk about it to each other. Like it's almost like a social thing. Like, what are you on? Oh, I was on Wellbutrin and then I changed it.
Lexapro?
Yeah.
Oh, let me get one of those.
Yeah, exactly.
And then this next clip is about a woman who tried to quit SSRIs, and she talks about how hard it is.
Antidepressants gave me brain damage. Psych meds aren't as safe as the doctors make them out to be. So I'm sharing the truth on the extreme injuries they cause and the side effects that doctors don't tell you about. I was only 7 years old when I was wrongfully overprescribed medications. For years, I told my doctor how awful the medicine made me feel. He dismissed me saying medication can't do that and blamed it on my OCD and anxiety and pushed more meds on me, telling me I needed them. I was always met with resistance and had my lived experience invalidated. I questioned and doubted myself. After 15 years of being brainwashed and carelessly medicated, I made the decision to come off for good. My doctor lowered my dose over 4 short weeks, making me debilitatingly sick. I was in constant excruciating pain in my body and mind and left bedridden and disabled. I had vision loss, burning in my entire body, intense dissociation, delirium, uncontrollable shaking, and pure mental agony. It was torment I could not escape. I felt like a raw, exposed nerve, light and sound physically hurt. I could not think and had trouble communicating. I was terrified, not knowing what was happening in my body.
Spooky stuff.
Yeah, I appreciate that girl for making her content so fast with not even a single breath in between. That really moves the show along. So
that helps. Thank you so much. But that's the reality of it. It's a very ugly thing. It's like one of those things they put you on and now you're kind of stuck on it forever.
Yeah.
And they make a ton of money off you. And they give it to 70% of their pregnant patients, but it does fuck you up. And if you try to get off, it's going to fuck you up too.
What is delirium? Like, I understand the word and what it means, but I guess it's one of those things where if you've never experienced delirium yourself, you don't really know what it is. I'm interested in finding out about delirium.
I would guess it's some sort of like manic episode of not sleeping.
Yeah.
Where you're kind of delirious.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's related
Like, I get the word, I understand the definition, and I know what's up, but I've never experienced it. So can I really know the definition of a word if it's something I've never experienced, you know?
We'll get on some SSRIs and send the bird.
And then wean myself off quickly.
And then get rid of your bird bath outside your house.
Start hanging out near construction sites.
All right, our last clip of the final page of Housekeeping is something we've been talking about for weeks now. And we don't mean to make the whole show about my thoughts on what you do with the foul ball you catch at a baseball game. But doppelgangers of mine keep catching foul balls and doing the wrong thing.
Yeah. Can we play this video?
I think we can.
It goes off his hands, and then it bounces, and he rushes over, and it's him versus a girl. So what he should do is go, yes, hand in the air, I got it, and then hand it to the girl.
And then the girl starts crying.
And then a reporter gives her a couple balls.
And there was a statement from the family about it, but the guy ended up giving the ball to her and apologizing on national TV because like his life was getting ruined and people were finding him and like messaging him and
found his business
and threatening him.
And he sat down with like a Good Morning America type show to set the record straight. It's like horrible. And it's like, dude, it's not that serious, but that is kind of what happens when something goes viral on social media of you being a bad actor. And we all know where we stand on it, or at least where I stand. You're kind of a little gray
I'm coming
area.
back around now that the doppels keep making me look bad.
But I got proved right. But then this statement from the mom, it's also on the guy to give it. You're not entitled to a ball. You got to fight for it, little girl.
Whoa, now you're back on my side.
Well, it has to be voluntary. That's the point. Well, let me read it and then we'll get to it. Hey, all Cleveland fan mom here. You all watched the man steal the ball from my daughter. You know my son went to ask him for the ball, which is so brave. I just have to say thank you to Tampa for broadcasting it. When Cleveland broadcast cut to puppies rather than show the man stealing the ball from a child. I cannot thank Ryan and Tampa enough, blah, blah, blah. And she goes on to thank the people and say, thank you for caring about my little girl. She's happy. But that kind of language, stole the ball and what... Your daughter was too slow, lady.
It was a home run, too.
It's supposed to be the kindness of his heart that does it. And that's what we're shaming. Your daughter's not entitled to the ball. It almost pissed me off.
Jury's still out.
Hey, I'm not saying the entitlement. You should be saying, thank you so much, Mr. Bearded Fleccas type. Thank you. You're the best. The mom goes to Facebook to say, my daughter deserves it. Too slow, bitch.
And what if it was like an O.J. Ohtani home run?
Shohei Ohtani, yeah. What if it was Barry Bonds' record-breaking home run and stuff? Obviously, a kid's not getting that.
Kid, you don't even know what it is.
No, you don't. And we have carve-outs for that. Valuable balls, like Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire home run race. You keep that. That's going to like the Smithsonian or something, or you're selling it to a private collector. You don't give kids the six-figure payout.
Okay, so there are stipulations.
Definitely. That was some random nobody home run on a weekday game or something. Like that does not
in game like 30 of 160.
Exactly. That doesn't matter. But
well, what about the guy who's in the kayak outside the stadium and he has to go swim for it? He doesn't at the end take all the balls and give them to kids.
Hell no. Where's that at? San Francisco?
I think San Francisco. Yeah. I saw Barry Bonds hit a home run one time in San Francisco.
That's cool. That's a good memory.
From the box.
Yeah. Oh, you were in the box?
I was in a box.
Oh, wow.
It's a great experience. I'll never forget it. He went like this, and he hit it, and it just went out.
He's like the best player of all time.
He was so good at
it. He just fucking launches it.
And everyone was watching. And then that was when he was about to break a record, I think, and it was like a few before the record. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's the end of housekeeping, unless you have anything.
That was a busy housekeeping, guys. We covered a lot of topics there. Hopefully it wasn't too much. And yeah.
I liked it.
Me too.
All right, we're now moving on to Cringe of the Week. All right, our first clip of Cringe of the Week is very relatable. The WNBA is taking over people's lives.
We start spring and summer and WNBA. Like, what more could we ask for?
I know.
Like,
this is my favorite time of the year.
Best time of the year. Best time.
Sun
of the
is
year.
out.
Basketball is on.
Yes.
Yep.
I was just telling one of my friends, I was like, just FYI, like the W consumes my life. So if you're trying to hang out, is it going to be at a W game? Or we're going to be watching a W game at a bar.
That's what we're doing.
For sure, bro.
Relatable. A W game.
These dudes get it.
Yeah, these guys are sick. They're busy.
And they pretend to like and watch the WNBA, which is nice.
No, I think they do. I think they like the W.
They like it.
They like the W.
And they watch it.
Yeah.
But,
It's good for them. I wanted to give these guys a pass.
Yeah, I'm glad someone's watching.
Yeah.
You can probably get courtside seats for $50.
I think my sister did that once. In Chicago.
You take a picture
got
from like the court facing the crowd. And you're
it was
like,
before the Caitlin Clark era too, where it was like bottoming out, all-time low. I think she went.
That would actually be a good experience. I would do that. Does Tampa have a team?
I don't think so.
Don't even know.
Too late.
Over. No one watches, we don't watch WNBA. I don't even watch the MNBA.
Yeah, the NBA.
All right, our next story is what we mentioned in the intro. Looksmaxers are taking it too far.
Find the zygote and then go right under it. And you want to go down your face. Ooh, that feels good. And then do it on both sides. And then blend it. But there's another trick after this that you got to do. So once you do this, this adds facial angularity. Like you'll see on camera, it just kind of like adds a shadow, and then come above that with something that's shiny, and it actually emphasizes it even more. So I got this blush, it's shiny. Put this on, and then watch this. Watch this. Put it all on the nasolabial fold area. There you go. That's like the coloring and the angularity at once. Pretty mug in it. Pretty mug.
So he's mansplaining how to do your contour makeup.
Yeah.
And I would consider it twink maxing. I was going to say he's gay, but there is a girl massaging him.
Yeah.
So
you're not gay then. That means.
And then when you look at looks maxing in general, I've been watching clips like this and seeing it on my timeline. Like looks maxing is basically really just wearing makeup and high heels, competing with other men for who's like the cutest.
Yeah.
And then being mean to girls.
Yeah. That's the vibe I'm picking up as well. That's all I've seen.
Being mean to girls on birth control who are attracted to feminized men, which is like literally what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
It's kind of frustrating to see that, like a young man
wasting his time on makeup.
He's like going like this and like looking in the camera, and then he looks at himself and he does like,
mogging. He's mogging.
He's like, that's what girls do, brother.
Yeah.
And we actually have a clip of a looks maxer going out. This is what it looks like when they get ready for the club.
Outfit of the night. Ooh.
Yeah. See the heels and the makeup and the mustache, but it's a man.
That's it. That's the final form. That's what happens when you looks max too close to the sun.
You think that was funny?
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Thought it was good.
I see what you're up to.
All right, our next story. There is a new gay dating app called Sniffies.
Yeah, Match Group Inc. invests $100 million in grindr competitor Sniffies. So there are so many desperate gay guys out there that we need 2 completely gay dating apps.
And it's like a cruising app that tells you all the spots to pick up like anonymous gay guys. And it makes it easier for gay guys to find holes to fill. And this, I think that's what.
Yeah.
They're filling the gap, or whatever, however you want me to say it.
I don't know.
And then they call it sniffies, and I'm not trying to be too vulgar here, but it's sniffing ass.
I thought it was sniffing poppers. You do your poppers, you sniff them up, and then you go to sniffies.
Oh, that's actually.
I don't know.
I assumed it was sniffing butts.
It's a new platform to watch, though.
And I found out about this because you downloaded it because, what did you say? You don't want to know, you want to know where the gay cruising spots are so you don't go?
Yeah, something like that. I there's certain hot spots where like people are popping up on the map, and it's like, I look at my phone and I go, I shake my head. I see them where they are, and I go, no.
And then you walk to it and go, I'm not going in there.
Not this place. I go, not here.
We have a screenshot of allegedly what the app looks like, but we don't know.
It says hole available right now. Top looking 1.1 miles, cruising now 0.2 miles. I think someone is making a joke with that.
But I think you could have like stories and statuses, and I think that's what it is.
Yeah. That can be like what I interpret as a joke could be how they really communicate.
Yeah, and I saw an example on Twitter in the replies, so maybe it's not true, but there's a type of person on there who posts things like no one turned away.
Yeah.
Where it's just like a brutal like person who's down for anything. Mm-hmm. It's very dark shit.
Yeah, it's greasy. So guys, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Just know what's going on. I was going to give some advice, maybe like, watch out for monkeypox or something. You guys don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, that's so true. Or maybe just like avoid public restrooms. Like go to Home Depot and you go in stall 3. And
yeah. I remember there used to be like a thing where like almost an urban legend where people got crabs from a toilet.
Yeah.
It's not going to be an urban legend soon if they keep adding gay dating apps. There's going to be something that really does come off the toilet soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just thought of something, and this is kind of dark.
So make sure you're using that little paper thing that goes on the seat
at
a minimum.
I just thought of something that could be really dark. Imagine, and I just thought of this.
Avoid the bathroom at theaters, you know?
Yeah.
Gay bars, obviously, you wouldn't be there, but like whatever the gay areas are.
But imagine you're on Sniffies, right?
Oh, of course.
You have
I'm
the
on
app.
Sniffies. I'm visualizing it.
And imagine there's a cruising spot in the Home Depot.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the men's bathroom stall 3.
Stall 3, yep.
And then you on Sniffy's make your status, gay guy in stall 3 looking for a hookup. I like to role play. No doesn't mean no.
And you're sending gay guys to assault whoever's in Home Depot stall 3.
And then whoever walks into stall 3 and the
Get
gay
the fuck away from me.
It's like, oh, I knew you'd say that. And then you get like, raped. And it's not funny when you take it all the way. But it's like, no doesn't mean no. Like, no matter what I say, I'm down.
Yeah.
Consensual non-consent or something.
Believe it or not, that's going to happen.
And it's like terrorism.
Yeah.
Like, get off me. It's like, no, you said it's fine. Like, no.
Gay bioweapon. You send a gay bioweapon in there.
That's actually really dark. Okay, we're going to skip this one.
Okay.
And we're going to go straight to our last piece of cringe, which is like a bad lawsuits section. There's basically a couple of lawsuits and examples here of things that like don't really make sense in our society.
Litigious America that we're against. First one is a woman on a Carnival cruise, and we'll let the video play.
In this never-before-seen surveillance video, you can see Diana ordering shots of tequila at one bar after another. Here, 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 all in just over an 8-hour period.
Her eyes were glossy. You don't have to be a toxicologist. You can tell by listening to this lady, she's drunk.
She says she eventually blacked out and was severely injured after falling down a flight of stairs. Carnival claims the fall never happened.
I found bruises and I was like, where did I get these bruises? And they couldn't tell me. They said I never fell and I never went into anybody's room.
Body cam video shows her being escorted by ship security back to her stateroom, where she drunkenly confronted her 2 shipmates.
If you were my friend for 30 years, if you were my friend for 30 years.
That's like standard blacked out woman. Wake up with bruises. You don't know where they're from. Marble mouth thing. You were my friend. You betrayed me. And this woman sued Carnival Cruise for over-serving her and was awarded $300,000 for the average blacking out experience. Like, nothing happened. A couple bruises.
I think I fell down.
I hate people like this. And I hate that we live in a society that is going to give a monetary reward to this person. It pisses me off to no end. There's no self-responsibility. It's unbelievable, maddening. And we have a couple more examples,
Yeah,
too.
our next example is similar. It's a different type of lawsuit, though. Can you give it a read, please?
Story from the Los Angeles Times. One man has filed 1,800 disability lawsuits against SoCal shops. Store owners are fed up. Anthony Boyer has been on a suing spree around the San Fernando Valley. The 55-year-old internet marketer confronted a counter at a hole-in-the-wall Mexican spot that was difficult to reach over his wheelchair. He sued the business for violating the Americans with Disability Act. In LA County, it was at least his 231st case of the year.
And it's April.
So this guy is just farming for complaints and lawsuits and settlements from some stupid piece of legislation that's supposed to protect disabled people that's now being weaponized against small business owners who probably don't have much say in how compliant their business that they're probably renting is.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And then at a certain point, it's like a lawyer needs a disabled guy and a disabled guy needs a lawyer. And they're just running a playbook 1,800 times.
Yeah.
You should be launched into outer space if you do this.
There you go.
So predatory stuff. The one's no personal responsibility, and then the other is like loophole targeting shit. What's going on? Why is this allowed to exist? There should be laws about someone who, like labeling someone a litigious person.
Yeah.
And then you just wasting court time doing all this shit. Pisses me off, right?
Me too. And then keep in mind as well, like in LA, if you're a restaurant owner, you're already getting squeezed with like energy taxes.
Tents,
all the there's all the homeless people. It's hard to have a business. The taxes in general are, hard. You can't make ends meet. And then you get sued because a guy in a wheelchair is looking to sue you for whatever he could.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah. So we need a major overhaul. I believe the tort law is kind of the section. I don't know enough about it, but like the fact that these people are just getting money, Carnival Cruise, every small business in LA, and then the guy goes in and he starts doing stuff to see if there's something he can't do. Like, it's not like he was reaching to do something. He's like looking for the
He fell out of the chair and hit his head.
And then his lawyer buddy, who should be disbarred, We need to start, I don't know. I was going to say something bad, but
there you go.
These people are the worst, and then it obviously adds to the low trust society that we live in.
He's not looking for tacos.
Yeah.
And we have a last example here that
it's busy. He has to try a new place every time. He never goes to the same place again.
It's his job.
It's a business.
And he's probably made, I would say, over $1 million on 1,800 lawsuits, more.
I would say so. What, you don't even have to reach that much of a settlement every time, right?
Living good. And then our last example is kind of absurd. A squatter patient refuses to leave hospital room 5 months after discharge, lawsuit claims.
Despite being discharged over 5 months ago, a patient residing at a Florida hospital has decided to stay. The facility has filed a lawsuit asking a court to evict her. According to a report from the Tallahassee Democrat, the unnamed woman was admitted to an inpatient room where she continues to stay. However, staff at Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare cleared her for discharge on October 6, 2025. In early March, it officially filed a complaint with the court requesting that a judge authorize the Leon County Sheriff's Office to remove the squatter and free up a critical hospital bed. We have a picture of the disgusting leech who won't leave the hospital. And like, again, this is just like dumb legal loopholes in America. We already hate squatting, and somehow a person was able to squat at a hospital. It's not a house. It's not anything. Just because it's a bed, it doesn't mean you live there. Like, how is security not like walked her out by the neck? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you get trespassed from a place for staying too long.
In Florida, too.
5 months. And like, think about what kind of squalor you're living in when the hospital bed, when they stop like serving you, you're eating like consumer packaged goods, like a little juice box, probably living in squalor.
And you cruise around and your roommates are people in the hospital.
Well, you've been there longer than anyone, so you get a new roommate every week, right? But yeah, unbelievable levels of like, it's almost legal fatigue that I'm having now after seeing headlines like this.
And it falls all under the same like scamming umbrella. Like everyone in America, instead of just like having the American dream, is like, well, you could just do Medicare fraud. Oh, do an autism fake thing.
Oh, I'm doing my disability hustle now. I think there just needs to be a guy who like is extra legal and he's a Midwestern small business owner, and you go to him and he's an absolute dictator on cases like this where it's like, what, you want 300 grand? You drank 14 shots of tequila? No. Next. You know, you in the hospital? Get her out of here, guys. He's just got some weird accent where you don't really know where he's from. But like, God, there needs to be something, because all these systems that we have put in place to be like the greatest country in the world are just constantly abused. It's unbelievable.
Very. All right. Well, that's the end of Cringe. We're now moving on to Urban Decay. All right, our first story from Urban Decay takes place at a Taco Bell. A worker pulled a gun because someone put soda in a water cup. Got the gun, he just cocked it, and then he shot. So he pistol whipped her, and 2 people were shot, but they're okay.
Yeah, it was kind of a pistol whip accidental discharge, and the bullet did hit one of the girls and grazed the other, but they're fine.
But he pulled the gun out for 15 cents of syrup.
Yeah, I think we just marked the bottom there. That's the lowest monetary value we've ever seen someone get shot over. 15, maybe even like 9 cents of the Coke syrup. Right?
Yeah. And we've said it before when it comes to deportations, not everyone can stomach what's necessary. This is what upholding standards at your business actually looks like.
Yeah.
You can promote this guy.
Yeah, he had to shoot. He gave him no choice.
Don't steal drinks from them.
And
They're crazy.
And the funny thing, the thing that we always talk about is it's not about the guacamole. It's about the uncontrollable argument that the guacamole sets off. It's not about the soda from the water cup. It's about disrespect afterwards, right? And I was seeing some comments online like it was about the disrespect. They like argue for it. They like it.
Yeah.
And so obviously, no matter what it is, you got to take yourself out of these types of Taco Bells, right?
Very true. Our next story.
You know what? I'll also give some credit. I think these type of employees only do this to black women. Like, they're black employees. They're doing it to a black woman. They talk to each other on a level that, like, come on, you're fucking with us. Like, I know you're doing it. And then things escalate because, like, they relate to each other more. You know what I mean by that? Like, if some little punk white kid did this, he wouldn't pull out the gun to pistol whip, I don't think.
That's
because it wouldn't escalate to a little chirping back argument. The kid would just kind of be like, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
But because they're kind of from the same community, it gets to like, fuck you. You know?
Fuck me.
Yeah.
You know what comes next.
And then you chamber the round and you do the pistol whip and then the police come.
Yeah, not good. Our next story is about a 275-time juvenile repeat offender, and he did all these crimes within 3 months.
This is Jonah Oliver. We typically would not show you the mugshot or share the name of a 16-year-old. But after being charged 275 times and now facing charges in adult court, we are. The latest example, some say, of a repeat offender problem when it comes to juveniles in our community. 2 weeks ago, police say Oliver and another person carjacked a man with a gun moments after the victim pulled out of this Shell gas station on Statesville Avenue. Then the next day, detectives say Oliver shot into this home on Columbus Circle in West Charlotte's Ashley Park neighborhood. Police say it was affiliated with a rival gang member. 2 cars were also shot into here. Nobody was hurt. Detectives pinned Oliver to both crimes and say they found these firearms inside the home where the teen lives. 2 of them had switches, turning them into fully automatic firearms. Through court documents, I learned Oliver is the same juvenile who police were talking about here at their mid-year public safety news conference in July.
This one juvenile racked up.
So we covered that. We covered that one when it came out. The unknown juvenile, 15 years old.
We finally got him.
Yeah.
And listen to what let's finish it. Let's listen to what the guy says.
275 charges from 8 local jurisdictions. Over 100 of these charges were for breaking and entering into vehicles and larceny of autos. Think about that for a moment. 275 charges in less than 3 months.
Crazy. Less than 3 months.
That's like every single thing you do is a felony. Like when I wake up and I brush my teeth, he's doing a felony.
Yeah.
When I start to make breakfast, boom, another felony.
It's basically 3 charges a day for 90 days.
And then every single felony, he's doing an aggravating thing that gets tacked on. Like not only is he carjacking, but he's also endangering the welfare of a child at the same time.
Yeah.
And then he's also shoplifting. Like they're compounding, right?
Yeah. And think about how much police bandwidth is taken just for this one guy.
Yeah. And then think about how much police bandwidth would be freed up if this guy was zapped to death in the electric chair.
It would be like $12 of electricity.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like we need real capital punishment back. Like I don't see how someone like this can even come back
after a fair trial.
Yeah, of course. This is just
with a real judge,
with a very
with
real
a different judge,
Yeah.
not the system we currently have.
Yeah. But yeah, unbelievable. I mean, record-breaking shit, and it seems like we're doing this every week. And what, do we not have an answer for it? Does North Carolina not have the will to take care of somebody who commits 270 crimes?
I don't get it. In 3 months.
3 months. So what's that on a lifetime? What's that on lifetime?
You ever take and then what about the ones you didn't get caught?
Yeah, of course.
And it's
50% catch rate, maybe.
What is do you ever take like a weekend off?
No, it's constant, dude.
It's like multiple, all day and night. Multiple. All right, our next clip for Urban Decay is called the Buzzball Challenge. This is something that happens online where you find like a deranged person or a homeless person and you give them, I've seen them give these alcohol balls, these buzz balls, which are just giant alcohol things. And they also do edibles, where they'll give like a homeless person like 1,000 milligrams of an edible and say, I'll give you $20 if you eat this. And then who knows what happens after. So this is what the Buzzball Challenge looks like.
You can chug this shit. $40 right here. You can't, you can take a break, but no, not really. You gotta just chug it. $40 I get. There you go, you got it.
You know how much alcohol is in it?
You got it or no, you good? You said you hearse. Come on.
You better be fucking me up. I don't give a damn, nigga. Give me my $20.
I got your $20 right here.
Shut up.
You gotta drink it.
Word up, nigga.
Word up.
Pussy need passengers.
There you go. Oh yeah, see, I was talking big shit. I was talking crazy shit. Gotta finish drinking it.
Where's my 20?
You get it when you done drinking it.
All right. Roll it out.
Here.
Roll it out.
20. Drink.
Roll it out.
Drink the rest.
Roll it out.
I'm gone. You gonna drink it or...
Right there.
Hey, Benjamin. Damn, Benny. What you fall on, Benny?
We're gonna give you a ride to the hospital. But you're right, you can have the doctor. Give you some stitches. In the front. In the blood. Look at his blood all over.
Oh, what happened?
Wow, Penny, this is unlike you.
Penny, come on, start acting normal. I'm gonna get in trouble. That's like terrorism.
I know.
Because that guy's like homeless and deranged already, and now he's blackout drunk and probably blacked out more than he's ever been because like you're about to pass out eventually and do what happened. But like for that 30 minutes, he's like a real menace.
Yeah.
He's probably a repeat offender.
Oh, yeah. And then this is like a guy who's not a criminal behind the camera committing like a brutal crime. He's like, no, it's good. It's between me and him.
4 for $40.
Completely taking advantage of him.
All right, this clip we're going to show at the very end. We're going to move on now. There was a dating show that happened where one of the people on the show admitted to doing a murder.
Do you have a kid?
I raised 2 kids. That's not mine, though. I'm going to keep it a buck. I raised a 14-year-old, all right, and I raised like a 4-year-old, 3-year-old.
So is they mama looking for love?
No, they mama, I don't know. I didn't kill they mama and baby daddy, so nigga.
You killed they mama baby daddy?
Keep it on, I don't know what the fuck. Yeah.
What the fuck wrong with you?
What you mean? I'm on that in my city, though. That's what I'm on. That's what I got these 2 dreads for.
So you killed...
I raised my sister kid, and then I support my other goddaughter.
You killed they daddy and took care of them?
I mean, yeah, what the fuck you gonna do?
So there you go. And then at one point he tells her, shh. And it's like you're on camera with a mic on your chain. And you're mic'd up.
And you said it first. So it's either he's full of shit and trying to look cool, or he really killed someone and then no one's following up.
Yeah, and a lot of people were wondering why he's got the shoes in the pool.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I was thinking maybe he's really smart, and then when this clip comes out and they take him to court, he'll go, Your Honor, my mental state was not normal. I had shoes in the pool. I want to plead insanity.
Yeah, he's thinking 2 steps ahead. He's gaming the system with the shoes in the pool.
But I think in reality, he's probably got those shoe stuffer lifts where you add like 3 to 4 inches to your height. And
he's looksmaxing.
He's looksmaxing, and then you can't take them off to go in the pool. So now you just need to wear the shoes in the pool.
Yeah, he's Chinese finger trapped into shoes in the pool. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's what I think happened there. All right, our last piece of Urban Decay, and this is probably your favorite section because you were talking about this all week.
I don't know if it's my favorite, but there's a movie out that is getting the urban community going, and it's an NBA Youngboy movie.
He's a rapper.
Yeah, a real low IQ rapper, and brings out some of the worst people. And they started screening this, and it's like half documentary, half concert, because they're showing his concert. And so people are treating it like a concert and going crazy in the movie theaters, and they had to shut him down and call the cops and all that. Notice the lights are on and the police are there. And they're all singing.
This is happening like all over the country at all the showings. We have another clip.
They're jumping on the shit, hanging on the racks.
The music makes you get into a trance.
Yeah.
That could get violent.
Yeah, definitely.
It does something to you.
So that's what it looks like, when they're unencumbered and they haven't shut down the party yet. Here's one guy. This is what it looked like when he came out of the showing.
I ain't never left a fucking Cinemark licked in a bitch. You ain't never left Cinemark licked in a bitch.
Don't know what it means. I'm assuming it means sweating.
So he's sweating profusely. Imagine the smell inside that theater and the damage being done. And then here we have another one where it's kind of like similar thing where the screenings got shut down because the people couldn't handle themselves.
Everyone needs to calm down. Okay? We're gonna get the movie started again.
Money spread.
Oh my God, y'all! They cut the movie off.
Oh my God. Tickets for those that are supposed to be in here.
So, you guys get the point. It's a fascinating culture. The police were called. Multiple people got kicked out. They had to cancel some of the showings because of how they were acting rowdy. And what do you think? What do you think that is? Do you think when a group of black people get together to celebrate NBA Youngboy and his lyrical prowess, they just forget like that they're in a movie theater and the same rules and expectations still apply? Do they think?
I think that's what it is.
I think there's something mentally where they're like, I'm gonna go crazy, but I know someone will go crazier than me. So as long as I'm not the craziest. And then all of a sudden it devolves into, hey, we're shutting the movie down. You guys are fucking ruining the theater.
And like it's like the mob mentality.
Yeah.
And it's usually like, all right, if there's a group of 100 people, the worst urban types are the mob mentalities, like energy. And that's like what can devolve and happen.
Yeah.
But in this case, there's so many urban types that it's almost like a one-up of each other. Yeah. Like, oh, you loud, you yelling. Oh, I'm smoking a blunt. I got the money spread.
Yeah.
I'm twerking.
Yeah.
it's
very crazy. They do play off each other, and I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen a...
Yeah. And I was going to talk about the idea of separate but equal, like from back in like the segregation days.
Yeah, the movie theater, like if that was a separate movie theater, you can trash it, but nobody's going to repair it for you. You got to repair it yourself.
So that's why separate but equal would get out of hand so fast in modern times, because some theaters would be gross, covered in sticky soda, and everyone's talking and yelling and you can't hear the movie.
Yeah.
Because white people's racist and kept the clean, quiet theaters for themselves.
Yeah, you start to realize like maybe some of the decay in those separate but equal, it was just unmaintained and worked harder and stuff like that. You can imagine a world, what this theater would look like after 20 NBA Youngboy shows. It wouldn't survive, right?
It makes you wonder if separate but equal was equal to start, and then some groups maintained their facilities and other groups didn't treat them properly.
Yeah, definitely worth a thought.
And then I found this clip from like a long time ago, and the caption was the first YN recorded on camera. But check out how this person interacts with the police like 70 years ago.
Chased you, Howard. Ain't nobody chasing me, nigga. You crazy. Fool. Hey, put my jacket on me, man. It's cold out here. I get that favor? Do what? Can I get a favor? You got it. You got it on. Stupid ass. Say, man, I'm killing you when I get out. You and your little punk brothers and that nigga there. And you don't believe you don't believe that I do something to you, ass little sissy ass cousin or brother, whatever you. He ain't nothing but a punk himself.
He threatens the cop's life.
Yeah, so you can see the language might have changed, but the same combative and oppositional, defiant energy was still there. It's like modern day, basically.
Yeah, and it's a little different from the history books, too. Like, obviously, there's different types of people at all times. But in the history books, you see, like, the people in suits who get, like, the soda poured on them at a sit-in or something.
Yeah,
and you have
finely selected people, right?
You have to assume, oh, they were all really nice and white people were just racist. But there were some people like that, too.
Definitely.
It's a little history, Fleccas Talks history lesson, allegedly.
For sure.
All right, well, that's the end of Urban Decay. Don't get too down or too depressed. We are moving on to Uplifting Gold, and we have uplifting stuff today. Our first story is good news from 7th grade boys. They're calling lunch goy slop.
Yeah, it's a post from a teacher, and it starts, how does everyone here deal with inappropriate student conversation in middle school that isn't recognized as a problem by most adults? I know going through the normal channels will do nothing but inflame things and make the kids involved say it even more. I have a group of boys in my 7th grade social studies class for 4th period right before lunch calling the school lunch goy slop. I had to Google the term after it kept coming up, and I finally figured out what on earth they were saying. Sounded like they were saying your slop at first, and I thought nothing of it. I asked them directly what they think it means, and one of them proudly told me it's food that's like garbage that Jews make us eat because they control America. The others thought that was hilarious.
So American mischief is still alive and well.
The kids are having fun. They're updating their vernacular with words that teachers aren't equipped to handle yet, that they have to ask for the definition of. And yeah, our school lunch is high quality. I don't know.
Who are we mad at here? The kids who are noticing the low quality lunch with some bad words, or the people serving them goy slop?
I don't know.
Could be either. All right, our next story is uplifting. This kid was caught by his mom slamming their cat. And then the mom,
which at that young age is a very dangerous sign, right?
There's a Glock with a switch soon.
Cruelty
and then,
to animal.
And then the mom made him slam his PS5 the same way he slammed the cat.
With your PlayStation 5, how you picked my cat up and slammed it on the ground multiple times. Do it. Now pick it up and do it again. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me move this for you, baby, so you know it's real. I want you to raise it up on your tiptoes and slam that bitch as hard as you can like you did my motherfucking cat. Pick it up and do that shit again. Since you got anger issues, we gonna fix them today. Pick it up and do that shit again.
That's uplifting.
I don't know about uplifting. We have a cruelty to animals future killer on our hands, and then a mom who's parenting through atypical ways. I mean, you got to punish him somehow.
It's a good lesson.
Just an ugly, but it's a little too dark for me to truly enjoy it as uplifting.
Yeah,
I would say.
We can skip this.
Okay, not uplifting.
It wasn't uplifting.
Not uplifting. Don't worry about it, everybody.
Our next clip. They were talking about Artemis 2 in the White House, and someone asked Trump a question he couldn't hear, but then he said, oh, so-and-so might be able to hear it because he has giant ears.
Over here, you heard that question? With those beautiful ears of yours? He's got great hearing, you know, he's got super hearing.
Trick of the trade, sir.
What's the answer to that?
I think the answer to that is...
So the guy with the giant ears, those big, beautiful ears, live TV in the White House, you're in the Oval Office, you're meeting the president, and then he makes fun of your ears.
Hey, it's not something he hasn't heard probably his whole life. And I think, is this the guy who runs NASA now? Isaacman?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, you know, you got to be able to handle a joke.
Yeah.
A light ribbing from the president.
Exactly. All right, our last clip is the Pure Americana clip of the week. A young man went with Python Cowboy on a python hunt, and it went pretty good.
My name's Henson and I'm 7. I had a pretty close call with a wild python, but luckily my mom wasn't there. We toured the Everglades with the Python Cowboy. We pulled up on a small island to hunt for invasive pythons. Trouble starts barking, so we go running. I snuck around the back for a clean shot at the neck.
Go for it.
He was super strong, so I had to go 2-on-1. Everything was fine until he got my neck.
It's a little snug.
Felt like a brown belt, to be honest. But luckily, my dad's a black belt, so we took care of that.
Nice, Henson. You gotta grapple him. There you go. Hold the head, hold the body. Nice. He needs help.
Then he caught me in a body triangle. That was actually pretty tight for an 8-footer. I kept the head, and my bros took care of the body. But it did take them a few minutes. Got to the next island, and Trouble finds another python. But this one's even feistier than the first. Uncle Phil drags him out into the open, and he gave little Brandon a kiss. I took the back and went straight for the neck.
You got it, son.
Isn't that cool?
That's cool. It is a little weird seeing a kid do the narrated social media content style thing, though, that young. That is a little...
It's interesting.
Yeah.
But
I'd love to see it, though. They're invasive. We love Python Cowboy here.
We love Python Cowboy. We've done one of those hunts. We went iguana hunting with him. He does hog hunting, python hunting. I think he does bow fishing. You really can do anything. And you go to pythoncowboy.com and you book a hunt.
There you go.
It's a free ad.
He's a
in
great
a good
guy.
way. He is a great guy. We went and did
True
it.
conservationist, real hero.
A Florida man, really
Florida
nice
hero.
guy.
Boom.
Good dad. And we went and did a hunt with him like 5 years ago, and it was really some of the most fun we've ever had.
Absolutely.
So we want to put you guys on it. East coast of Florida. If you're between like Palm Beach and Miami, that's the spot.
Yeah.
pythoncowboy.com.
Okay, free one.
All right. We have some shout outs. My first shout out is very important, and it's also a call to action. I want you guys to support this guy. His name is Chet, and he's running for county commissioner in Deschutes County, Central Oregon, which is a red county that needs to stay red. We have a picture of him here with his family and his truck. He's a very good guy. He's a patriot.
I recognize this guy.
He's a show watcher and a patriot. And his election is May 19th for county commissioner in Deschutes County, Central Oregon. Vote for Chet. It's linked in the description as well. Make sure you guys go support him. Follow him on social media. This is what we need. We need like right-wing, America first, good people, show watchers running for office at a local level.
Absolutely.
So go support Chet. It's linked in the description. Election's May 19th, like I said. Cool. We have a happy birthday to Tony A., who turned 32 this week. His wife is pregnant with their third son, and he's the best supporter. His wife has been sick lately during pregnancy, and he's been cooking and helping, and he does a great thing, and his wife stays home with the kids, and he works hard. He loves the show. Happy birthday to Tony A, and thank you for your service. He's also a Marine.
Happy birthday, Tony. That was a lot of backstory there from Tony.
There you go. He deserves it. He's a great guy. Happy birthday to Jessica Jasmine on May 2nd. She turns 34. She's also known as the Ginger Mermaid Girl. And JJ. That's a nice name. And she's been watching since 2023.
Wow.
That's pretty much the whole time.
I'm trying to think. I don't even remember when we started. Yeah.
I think it was 2023.
Thank you for your continued support, JJ.
Thank you for your service as well. We have a happy birthday to Paul Hury on April 28th. He turns 45. He and his wife Lorena homeschool their 4 kids, and Paul just started his dream business. It's called The Frame Shop. It's in Houston, Texas, and they do motorcycle frame repair.
Happy birthday, Paul.
Are you going to support the motorcycle frame repair business?
It's like the scene from Wayne's World where the girlfriend gives him a gun rack. Yeah, I don't even own a gun, let alone enough to necessitate a gun rack. I don't have a motorcycle, and I don't live in Texas, but I would, brother. I'm this close.
As would I. So if you guys have motorcycles
with the frame issue
in Texas, in Houston, with the frame issue, the Frame Shop.
Yep.
In Houston, Texas.
There you go.
It's late in the show. I can slam the bugs. Got him. I'm allowed late in the show. Happy birthday on May 1st to Rory. And now that you're 13, you can finally watch your dad's favorite podcast together.
Wow, there's a set age limit there.
There was, and he just crossed the threshold. This is maybe his first episode.
Happy birthday, Rory.
And then Dad uses the term STP, slit throat patrol, for like keeping your head on a swivel. And Rory, this is where STP comes from. Your dad's quoting show lore.
Lovely.
And we have a final shout out, a congrats to Susie and Cullum. They just had twin boys, Charles and Conrad, and they're bonus landers.
Congratulations, twins. Twins are great.
That's 4 devices that can watch the show now.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, well, that's the end of the episode. Thank you guys for watching all the way through. A little announcement, there's not going to be a bonus land tomorrow just because I am traveling to a wedding this weekend. But on Wednesday of next week, Bonus Land returns, and we have a major announcement, a really big announcement we're excited to tell you about. So have a nice weekend. Enjoy your time with your family. Get some sun. Change your lights. Don't take SSRIs, and we'll see you on Tuesday.
See ya.
left the fucking Cinemark licked in a bitch. You ain't never left Cinemark licked in a bitch. I'm going home. What the fuck? I'm just a lonely child.